Hello, live from the Channels Television Global Headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. This is Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu, and today we'll be focusing on the southeastern region. But before we get into that, let's have a look at our top stories making the rounds at the moment. The federal government has denied scrapping the junior secondary school and senior secondary school and replacing them with a new 12-year uninterrupted basic education model. In a press statement signed by the Director Press of the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, the Minister of Education at the Extraordinary National Council on Education meeting held on February 6, 2025 in Abuja presented a proposal for discussion, not an immediate policy change. The statement explains that the proposal seeks to migrate to 12 years of compulsory education while retaining the current 6-3-3 structure. The statement further explains that a key aspect of the proposal is to eliminate the examination barrier between GSS and SSS, allowing for a seamless transition of students without the hurdles of an external assessment at that stage, and the proposal is still a subject of consultation and deliberation. The statement adds that to ensure all well-informed decision, the ministry will undertake extensive stakeholder engagements over the next 8 months, consulting widely with education policymakers, state governments, teachers, parents, and other key players. The final decision on whether to adopt this reform will be made at the October 2025 National Council on Education meeting. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has arrested Adam Imam Yusuf, a Deputy Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Kogi State, over the alleged diversion of more than 3 billion naira. Yusuf, who was at large until now, was taken into custody from his residence in Gwagwalada, Abuja, and is set to face prosecution. According to a statement by the spokesman to the commission, Mr. Demola Bakare, investigations revealed that former Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Usman Jibrin, retired, allegedly orchestrated the fraud through Yusuf and former Brigadier General Ishaya Baku Gangum, retired. The alleged scheme reportedly involved the diversion of public funds using 92 fictitious companies that were not registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. An investigation by the commission also traced these funds to Lahab Integrated, Gate Coast Properties, and other affiliated companies, leading to the acquisition of over 18 properties, including filling stations. 4 of these properties have been forfeited to the government so far, while legal proceedings continue over the remaining assets. The ICPC is also intensifying efforts to apprehend other suspects at large. Vice President Kashim Shettima says there is a surge in medical tourism to Nigeria as patients from the United States of America and other countries are thronging to hospitals in the country for kidney transplants. The Vice President stated this when he met with the leadership of the Nigerian Association of Nephrology in his office at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, ahead of the association's 37th Scientific Conference and Annual General Meeting. He specifically mentioned a recent development where 13 patients from America were flown to a hospital in Nigeria for kidney transplants. According to the Vice President, this is because of the affordability of the treatment for kidney transplants in Nigeria and the presence of high-quality expertise within the country's medical community. However, he underscored the importance of more investments in specialized medical education and the need to train more medical experts, especially women, so as to sustain the progress being made. We begin in Anambra State, where Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has flagged off free training empowerment for 1,000 youths in the state. This is in line with the private-public community partnership of the present administration as undertaken by members of the Solution Youthpreneur Support Group. Addressing the youths at the International Convention Center, Awka, Governor Soludo gives assurances that his administration will continue to raise youths who will in turn raise more youths for sustainable development and a prosperous homeland.
So think that here the essence of this event today is that we started off with 1 youth 2 skills, where we not only give people vocational skills between 2023 and 2024. We had 2022-2023, for about 12 months people were put under the formal, almost reinvention of the Igbo apprenticeship system, where you now take those to be trained to the places of training. In some form, you might liken it, some people call it IT, almost an industrial training, where the person is taken there to be trained from first principles in specific vocations. And after that, they are given the second skill, which is entrepreneurship skill. How to run a business, how to organize a business, manage your finances, and so on. And then we provided them with seed capital and provided also resources for them to access if they wanted access to cheap financing, a single-digit interest rate, but then with seed capital as grant. And then we set up the cooperative structure that then traces and continues to monitor and mentor those who have been trained and empowered to now run their own businesses, and getting feedbacks and social and group support, social and group networks. The failure rate of these things, examples across the world, has been very monumental, very high. But for us to come back, barely 12 months, less than 24 months, certainly, to come back and to have 1,000 out of these people who themselves are now family established and have become millionaires themselves, offer to say, listen, we now want to train others free of charge by ourselves. That's why we are here.
Staying in Anambra State, amid ongoing concerns about the involvement of youths in criminal activity fueling insecurity in Nigeria's southeast region, the local government administration in Anambra South, in partnership with other youth groups, has commenced a program of empowerment and integration in the state's southern senatorial district. The project, tagged Youth O'Clock in Orumba South, is meant to unite and secure the future of youths in the council area.
Orumba South local government area in Anambra State is predominantly an agrarian area, but it has since featured in the news in recent times for the growing spate of gunmen attacks on hapless citizens and on security personnel, and also the destruction of police formations. Having identified the demography of those found culpable to be mostly youths, the mayor of Orumba South, in collaboration with the President General of the Youth Wing of the State Association of Town Unions, ASATU, has kick-started a campaign tagged Youth O'Clock in Orumba South. The interactive session brings together about 2,000 youths, community leaders, and government officials to brainstorm on initiatives of empowerment and peaceful coexistence for youths in Orumba South.
This is what emulating in other 20 local governments. I have to commend you for being the lead.
We can be providing intelligence to the security operative in our communities.
Addressing the youths, the President General of ASATU draws the attention of the leadership of the youth wing of the 15 town unions in Orumba to join forces with the mayor in order to drive a more positive value system. This position is endorsed by the mayor of Orumba, who advocates for peaceful coexistence.
Youth O'Clock, that will begin to engage you people. We will begin to engage you all.
We will have peace in Orumba South. There will be peace in Orumba South. There will be zero crime in Orumba South.
Mr. Azubike announces training for youths in 20 vocational skills, including ICT, metal fabrication, agriculture, and fashion. The mayor demonstrates his commitment to positive youth engagement with an instant financial support of 1 million naira to one Mr. Okoliofo Nemeka to enable him establish a photography business. The message on brotherly love and peaceful coexistence is clear and has been effectively driven home in Orumba South Senatorial Zone with the Youth O'Clock program. The outcomes are then earnestly expected in the reduction in youth restiveness and the crime rate.
And now to politics, as calculations and permutations are ongoing massively as the 2025 governorship election in Anambra State draws near. Several aspirants from the opposition All Progressives Congress APC insist on having the capacity to unseat the incumbent. From the Central Senatorial Zone, Mr. Obiora Okonkwo maintains that zoning cannot replace the best hand, while from the South, Mr. John Bosco Onoku says a credible youth with capacity can unseat the incumbent governor. And from the North, Mr. Paul Chukuma says there's massive influx of people into the APC for him, and for him it is a sign of victory for the party.
This is Ogidi in Idemili North local government area of Anambra Central Senatorial Zone, where a critical stakeholders meeting of the All Progressives Congress is holding in preparation for the 2025 governorship election. The core concern and argument is why Anambra Central Senatorial Zone should not be shortchanged, insisting it's the turn of Anambra Central, going by the zoning principle.
It is actually the turn for Central, because we have had Obiano done 8 years from the North. We've had Pitobi done 8 years from Central, that was before Obiano. And now we've had Badunji 4 years, and Soludo is completing 4 years of South. In actual sense, the people whose turn it is today is Central.
But there's also a lot of strategizing ongoing in Anambra South, where the incumbent governor hails from. APC stakeholders from the ward to zonal level are meeting in Ekulobia, Agwata local government area, to articulate strategies that will ensure victory for the party at the November polls.
Let's give a credible youth that has been refined, a youth of impregnable and unquestionable integrity, a youth that is an all-rounder, a youth that is a unifier. Once a youth that has all these qualities grabs a ticket of any political party, of course, don't forget that youth constitute 70 to 75% of the voting strength of any particular election. So what we are advocating is give a credible youth who has been tested and trusted. Now that our future needs to be given what we call a guarantee.
In Umueri, Anambra East local government area, in the North Senatorial Zone, political activities are also in top gear, with alliances being formed, despite the fact that the immediate past governor of the state is an indigene from the zone. They announced the defection of a big political movement in the state, Ikenga Front, to APC, as well as their endorsement of one of the aspirants.
Indeed, the biggest political movement in Anambra State that cuts across different party lines came together and aligned their base with the party, the APC. And they did not stop at that. They came out to endorse my aspiration as their preferred candidate for the governorship race in Anambra State.
But the ruling All Progressives Grand Alliance says it is unperturbed by the opposition and is more than capable of retaining the governorship seats.
We are going to make a very loud statement. We are going to make a loud statement that indeed Abia is Anambra and Anambra is Abia.
It is a race that is time-bound, with a finish line in November 2025, when voters choose their next governor in the state. The next couple of months will see more alignments and realignment as political parties and aspirants weigh their best options ahead of the November election.
Across in Imo State, a group under the aegis of City Boy Movement Southeast Zone has unanimously passed the vote of confidence on the economic policies of President Bola Tinubu. This was disclosed at the 2025 first quarter meeting of the group held in Owerri, the Imo State capital. According to the group, this gesture demonstrates their support for the vision and renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu in ensuring Nigeria's economic growth. According to the Southeast Zonal leader, Mary Ikoku, though the present economic policies of the president might come with initial pains, but it will eventually lead to economic prosperity for the nation. She calls on the youths of the Southeast to continue to support the administration of President Bola Tinubu because he means well for the nation.
The movement resolved as follows. 1. Vote of confidence. The zone's leadership has passed a vote of confidence to the economic policies of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 2. Loyalty to established leadership. The movement reaffirmed its commitment to its legitimate leadership structure and vowed to reject any illegitimate fashions.
Southeast youths do not yet know the policies of the government that have impact on their lives. Many of them don't have money for their school fees in university. They're at home. They don't know that this government has provided scholarships for them. And these scholarships, you don't need to know anybody. You don't need to know anybody in government. It is called the NEL Fund, right? All you need to do is go on to the website www.nelfund.org and apply. Once they check you can't afford that school fees, your school fees will be paid to your school directly. Just carry yourself and go to school and become what you want to be in life. Many of our Southeast youth, they don't know about it. And that's why there was a low turn-up of Southeast youth students who benefited from that project. There is SMIDAN. There are a lot of empowerment programs, entrepreneurship programs in SMIDAN geared towards young people and women. Our youths don't know.
The Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has assured the Nsulu community in Ishialangwa North local government area of the government's commitments to conduct a complete and comprehensive tracing process of the Abia Airport project to commence adequate compensation to legitimate landowners. Speaking during a crucial meeting between the state government and the Nsulu Airport Community's Landowners Forum at the government's house, Umahia, the governor, represented by the Chief of Staff, Pastor Caleb Ajagba, assured that sons and daughters of the Nsulu community would be given priority employment opportunities in the airport project.
The banquet hall of the government house in Abia State is filled with village heads, compound heads, landowners, government officials, and the technical team of the Nsulu Landowners Forum of the proposed Abia Airport project in Isialangwa North local government area. The meeting is at the instance of the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, represented by his Chief of Staff, Caleb Ajagba. He wants all parties to work together and address concerns that might arise in the future in the course of the execution of the airport project.
We started this journey with all the representatives, including the village heads and the traditional institution. Today's meeting is very significant, and I believe it's going to be a further progress in our journey to actualize the Abia airports, that is in Soludo. This meeting should be able to take a holistic look and be able to come with a framework that will work for everyone. One thing you can take to the bank is that His Excellency will pay the last dime in terms of compensation, and nobody will be cheated. He's a leader, he's a father, and he wants to make sure that, as he said, he's bringing prosperity to Abians.
A representative of the landowners of the proposed Nsulu Airport project, Chief Uzo Azubike, expresses satisfaction with the outcome of the meeting.
The Nsulu people also commend the Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, OFR, for upgrading the airstrip to an airport and for choosing Nsulu for the proposed Abia Airport project while pledging their support and cooperation for the actualization of the project. The teams agreed to work together to address any concerns that may arise in future in the course of execution of the project, including but not limited to further reducing the land size. The landowners team, led by Right Honorable Azubike, expressed concerns about the project's impact on their community, including displacement and loss of livelihood, and appealed to government to consider further reduction of the land size for the airport project.
In continuation of the engagement process, an enlarged government and Nsulu Airport Landowners Technical Committee was inaugurated, and the members proceed to sign a communique. While residents of the state appreciate the fact that a project of this magnitude will involve huge sacrifice for the host community, the OT-led administration promises to match words with action and ensure adequate compensation of legitimate landowners.
Staying in Abia State, Governor Dr. Alex Oti has officially flagged off the construction of the Omenuku Bridge located at Ozu Abam in Arochukwu local government area with the promise that the bridge project will be delivered in 9 months. Speaking while performing the flag-off ceremony on the Segro Lane Omenuku Bridge, Dr. Alex Oti said the bridge, despite being a federal project, his administration decided to intervene after discovering that claims of its award were false.
We have flagged off this project. In 9 months, we will come here to commission it. Like I said a few days ago, yes, this is a federal road, but again, federal roads are used by our brothers and sisters, right? So anywhere we have job to do, we go and do it, irrespective of whether it is federal, state, or local government. And I had, in the last 3 weeks, instructed the Honorable Commissioner to procure the road and award them to 2 contractors. So in the next few weeks, you will see work start at the Abam Ring Road from 2 ends. So what we are doing as a government is that anywhere we see that work needs to be done, we don't wait for people to ask us. We'll begin to do the work.
And that's where we draw the curtain on this edition of Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. For updates on the news, you can check our website.